Okay, so last week we saw how to draw really dynamic poses and really lots of action, and the week before that we did like really subtle, like really just standing there not doing anything type of poses. But what about everything that's in the middle? What about when a character has to actually do something and act and express emotion and do all those things? That's what I want to find out this week. So join me, my name is Javi, I can draw, and this is how to draw acting. Now, when we're talking about acting, most of the time we're thinking about motion and we're thinking about movement and what a character is going to do and what is the character is thinking and all of that. And the best way to approach this is not to think like usually an artist or an illustrator do, but to think about what an animator do. And I know that is something that I kind of did the last week when I did the dynamic poses. But truth be told, like there's a lot of acting involved in animation when you're drawing a character, so the best way to do this is to actually ask animators. I did my research, I found a lot of stuff that I was thinking about how to approach acting, and I found 3 texts that I think that you're going to like a lot. So let's view them. Well, the first one is, well, not a text, it's a video. It is by Bobby Beck. Bobby Beck is a Pixar animator and he did a video for Animation Mentor. Animation Mentor is an online school for animation where you have tutors that are animators on other companies that they help you get better in animation. And well, he has this video about acting for animators, and it's about acting, about the goals that an animator has to do when they approach a character. And all of this also applies for, not animation and just drawing characters acting. And it also talks about getting lost in the character and some type of like method acting. It talks about using lots of reference, especially filming yourself. If you ever seen like one of those behind the scenes videos from Disney movies, you will see that the Disney animators, they just film themselves a lot doing the actions that they have to do for the characters. So using a lot of reference, like to filming people or to watching photos of people and how they move depending on the type of body and the age they have. Also film them themselves doing the things that they have to actually animate, and all of that, like all of the research that you have to do in order to get the character right. Now this one is a text. This one is also on Animation Mentor's blog, not the YouTube channel. This one is by Dana Boatway, and this is called 10 Advanced Acting Performance Tips for Animators. And this is, there are 12 rules for animation. That is like stretch and squish and exaggeration and anticipation. And maybe I could link you to a link that talks about that because it's pretty useful as well. But this goes just a bit beyond that, and it talks about the new ones in when you are animating a character. Once again, all of this also applies to when you are just drawing and not animating. So it talks about like simplification, acting within a pose, layering, movement style, body language. These are all really useful stuff to take into consideration when you're doing, because usually when we do a lot of illustration, if you go into places like DeviantArt, which I love, there's a lot of just pretty girls just sitting doing nothing. And the rest of, the reason why the illustration might be good is because of the color, all the lighting, but the character itself is just a statue, it's not doing anything, and it becomes a bit boring. Like the most interesting pieces of illustration and art are most of the times the ones that are actually telling you a story and they have some emotion put to it. And if there are characters, like the character has to have some feeling or some direction or something is going on with that character that relates to something that may have happened to us or something like that. And of all of this, just simple posing or simple portraits of just pretty girls, it can get pretty boring. So let's just go and try to get, go further, not just stay with the pretty girl portrait, And last, now that this tiny rant has ended, this one is on a website called animationarena.com. This is by Doron Mir, and it's about just adding, some tips and advices on how to make acting believable. It's pretty good. It does add just a bit over what the video and the blog on Animation Mentor talked about, but still I found it pretty useful. It is pretty concise, it has like very clear ideas, so that's why I like the text. And that's it. Those are the 3 that I'm going to recommend. Also, there are going to be some extra tip and advices that I found, that I put them all together in a Pinterest board for you to get. All of that is going to be linked on the link below, so make sure to go there and click on the links and get all this research read, because, well, tomorrow I'm going to get all the information and everything I got from this texts and videos and try to apply it and try to make like a tiny script and start like trying to get a performance out of characters, like, and trying to create these characters and get the psychology behind them. And it's a very complicated thing to do. I thought that this, like, originally I wanted to start this by doing like, well, how to add body language to an expression. Since I did an expression video with faces, I was like, well, what about when the body is expressing something? But suddenly I realized that I had to go into acting. So that's why I'm suddenly doing this very, very complicated thing in just a week. Okay, so I have this idea that I want to do. First of all, I'm a really bad actor and I know nothing about acting, so this is going to be pretty lousy, pretty lame, and maybe you should just skip to the part where I start drawing, but I kind of need to do this for myself. So the idea that I wanted to do is that, there are 2 people walking. There's a girl that is walking all straight and confident and proud, and there's this guy who's going to be all a little shy and crouched a bit. And the confident girl drops something, the guy lifts it from the ground and wants to give it to her, and when he touches her shoulder, she just kind of goes like into judo mode and just flips him to the ground, and he shows that he was actually holding her wallet or something, and she is really sorry and they walk together or something. I still don't know that much, but I want to do this, so stay with me. So first, I'm thinking about the girl, right? Like the girl is going to, maybe it's this profile, I can't walk a lot here, but she's going to be walking like this, like with her arms real loose, and her chin really up, like this, and the guy's going to be like, looking to his feet or looking to the ground. I always look to the ground when I walk because I'm kind of like this. So he should be like, like dragging his feet a bit, maybe. Like compared, she's going to look super confident and it's not. Like I'm doing, and so he's going to find the thing, right? So going to grab the thing, going to look at her, and he's going to be shy about it while she's walking confidently. And he's holding the thing in the right hand so you can see it in the other hand. And he's going to be like, in that particular moment is when the confident girl is going to be walking, and when she feels the tap on the shoulder, he's going to go like, and maybe feels it, and she grabs the hand and goes back to put her body against him so she can like bash him onto the ground. So how would that be? She should be lifting her leg. Then when she throws him, and she's going to be looking like kinda angry, like this. And the guy, he's going to be on the ground. Like this is the part that I find just a bit difficult. He's going to be on the ground, right? You can see in the ground. Ugh. And he's going to do what exactly? He should be like lifting the thing, a bit scared or maybe a bit out of breath, like, you know, when you feel when you fall. And what is she going to do? She was standing like this. Going to go like, so she's going to turn around and help him up. Then they're going to walk together. Is that kind of how it goes? Well, I don't know. Well, I'm going to use this as a reference to see if I can get this right. So I'm going to go to the computer now, you know, to the regular schedule thing without I don't do the ridicule in my really, really messy living room. Computer's over there, let's go! Well, that was rough. And honestly, I have no clue what's wrong with my shoulder and my shoulder blade. I mean, I go to a physical therapist to get it better, but it's not getting any better. I mean, still, after doing that, I actually spent a few minutes, and by a few minutes, I mean like an hour and a half, drawing and using those images as reference. So I want to show you exactly what I did with that film that I shot of myself. Okay, so take a look at this. First, I established two people walking. Those are the two characters that are going to be on this particular story that we're going to do. And well, one is walking like kind of hunched, with hunched shoulders, kind of like, and the other girl is walking confident. It's like she doesn't care about anything. And well, here we have, I'm going to start switching layers like this. So here we have the character that suddenly sees the wallet. The girl is still walking. I didn't do a walking animation first because it would take me a lot of time. Second, because I don't remember how to do them. And third, because that would make them look awful. So suddenly he sees the wallet. You know, the line of action is going to be super clear. It's going to be this one. I actually I got the line of action right for this pose from the film of myself, because I didn't have it right. Like, I tried a few times to get it right in my head, but I couldn't do it. So he crouches once again, line of action, this one, to get the wallet. I did a second frame where he's lifting his head, looking at the girl. I was going to get into a lot more detail, but it was taking me a lot more time, so I didn't get into too much detail like I just did. So here what I did was I took reference also from the film, and I did this pose of the guy about to touch the woman's shoulder. But I thought that there was something missing here, so I kind of did this pose, which actually does nothing. It helped me. I tried to get like some. If we're going to establish some kind of rhythm, it's like he's crouched and suddenly he looks and he takes some kind of initiative to approach the girl, and I wanted to get that right. I wanted to get like this wave right here, so I did some kind of in the middle to see if I could get it right. That works more like in motion, and still that image in the middle that I did, it doesn't help at all. So you know, it wasn't something good. But still, you know, I wanted something in the middle because it's like there's something there is missing. So now what we have here is like he's about to touch her, and I did like this quick, like she reacts to the touch from this shoulder. She gets started like that. And then, well, this is the fun part, which just doesn't have much to do with acting, honestly, but it was fun to do still. I started doing some research into like self-defense videos to see how you could do an over-the-shoulder throw. So I did the girl grabbing his arm, pulling from his arm, and going back, so her body would clash with his body. You know, the guy is startled, so you can see that she's going here, and the guy's getting pulled from here, and he's resisting this way, you know? And then here's the throw, which was the most fun thing to do. And well, this one is also pretty obvious because everything is doing this, like it's going to this way, which is all the pulling force going to that point. And then I just did this last one where she's after pulling him, she's just looking at him defiantly and he's just flat on the floor. Now, this is super incomplete and I'm going to keep working on it tomorrow to get it a lot better, especially, you know, to get some extra physical features and facial features to get this looking a lot better. But it's just an initial approach, and I have to be honest with you, especially with this one where he's about to touch her shoulder. I had a lot of problem doing it from my imagination, so having that film of me doing it, it actually helped a lot. So, you know, when in doubt, always use some reference, use some self-reference. I also use some external reference for the throw. So tomorrow I'm going to keep working on this. I'm going to finish the part where he gives him the wallet and she gets a surprise and they like walk along, so to add a little bit more acting. So tomorrow I'm going to be adding some gestures to this, some facial expression, and I'm going to try to finish the story. Okay, so mainly what I want to show you is what I've been doing, and I try to add a little bit more of body language and a lot of more facial expression to the whole poses that I've been working on yesterday. Even though I'm wearing the same t-shirt because I'm a very, very dirty person, the other video was actually shot yesterday. So what we have here is this character, the one on the left. He is looking very like distracted, looking at his shoes while he walks. And on the other hand, we have the girl character that she's looking straight, very confident, with her chin up. And so I did the two faces. They're going to vary a lot when I'm doing this because I was very sketchy. So, second drawing. The character gets a surprise when he sees the wallet on the floor. This is a pretty common surprise face. So, he leans, he looks just a bit worried about what it is. He goes like, what is this? He's looking a bit confused. And he looks up and adds 2 + 2. And he goes like, oh, that's from the girl. So the first thing he does is, well, he looks a little bit scared. He's like trying to get some confidence to give it to her. And finally he gets it and decides to tap on her shoulder despite his fears. He's a very brave, shy man. So what happens with the girl? The girl actually, wait, where is it? The girl actually gets just a bit surprised. I have to move like, you know, I did this as a comparison, but she would actually be where this one stands. So she gets surprised, right? And now is where it gets a little bit complicated. Like you can see, I tried to get her face to look like surprise and outrage at the same time. Like something wrong is going on and she doesn't know why. And that is exactly why she reacts like she does, which is like this. So in this one, compared to the sketch that I had to, like, there are still some things that I don't like about this one, and let me show you what it is. Now, I don't think I was actually exaggerated enough her throwing her hip here to the back to put all of this weight of her body near him. And at the same time, it's like I wanted to have this feeling of this arm being pulled and his face resisting. And I don't really think that I got it right. And I still have to work a lot on it. And well, now that I see his face, it's like I will make the mouth a lot more open than what it is. And she's like looking like a you bastard. She's looking angry and she's like, huh. So all of this is going this way. So I move on to the next one. Let me see how it goes. Okay, also this one I can put them together, yeah. So yeah, sizes and scale, they're going to vary a bit. These ones, maybe I can just adjust it a bit so they look like they're the same people at the same size. So in this one you have the two faces looking to the same point, that is the arm, but she's pulling like really angry and he's like pretty desperate. And I try to stretch his face and his eyes to get more movement. It doesn't look that good, does it? But still, you know, what matters from what I'm doing here that I'm trying to do is try to get the body and the face to actually convey one expression at the same time. And I try and kind of think that I'm getting there. Now, this one, well, I'm going to get this one. This one, she's looking like really angry, like, what's your problem? And he is, well, he's pretty terrified of her. And I know that probably I'm missing just one more drawing of the impact, like when he actually hits the floor, because now I have it in the air, and you know, I have it, let me show you here. I have him in the air, and then I have him already lying on the floor, and she completely finished her pose. Like, there needs to be one more. I may do one more tomorrow. So now she's looking at him like pretty angry, and he's looking all terrified. Well, not all terrified, but just a bit terrified. And I'm going to get rid of this one. And this one, this is a new one that I worked today, because the other ones are the ones that I'm showing you yesterday. And so he's kind of getting his hand up, kind of a bit scared because he doesn't know what her reaction is going to be. Now, when he's laying like that, like, it doesn't look that good. Like, I tried to bring all the face like this, but, you know, if you look at like this, he may look a bit more scared. But when he's lying down, it doesn't look that much. Maybe I have to exaggerate it a bit. But she just realizes what happens, and I think it looks great. I actually really like her pose, and this pose, I actually got it from the video that I shot of myself. I tried a few poses before, and I wasn't getting it right, and then I was like, all right, I have the reference. So I went to my reference of me doing the pose, and I got it. And I have this one, and there's just one extra that is like the ending of the story, where, you know, it was all a misunderstanding, and she's like, she kind of likes him, I think. So he's getting up, and he's like, oh, it's okay, and she is pretty happy with what's going on. Now, there are a few things that I've been learning about this. One is one that I kind of already know, but I still have a lot of work of trouble trying to get it right, and that is just neck movement. And you know, if you look at Disney movies, when the characters are actually emoting and showing expression, they never have their head still, but they're always moving their neck towards the side, and most of the times they're just tilting it. It sometimes adds to the expression, because most of the time the expression that characters make are not symmetric. They don't look the same on the two sides of the face. And tilting the neck kinda enhances that feeling that the emotion is being directed towards one side or the other. Now, since I've been doing this all on a like profile level look, I didn't get to work too much on that. But what I think I'm going to do is just I'm going to do some kind of storyboard with this, and see if by changing camera angles depending on what's going on, I can work a little bit more on the acting. So that's what I'm going to do today, which is like over the weekend. And well, if you look at this like from behind, let me see. If we add the whole story, where is it? You still have like this tale of something going on, right? You still look at this, and it's still a story, and you can see that the reactions of the characters are pretty clear. And I really like that. I think that that's what I was going for. But I still can go for something a little bit more complex and a little bit more nuanced, I think. So that's what I'm going to do. Stop right there, Javi from the past. I'm Javi from one day later. And you know what? You didn't do something more complex, because the truth is that what I wanted to do was a little bit more complex than I imagined. And I had to start thinking about composition and how clothes reacted to movement, and a lot of other things that I'm still not ready to do, like on camera and show it to YouTube, because I think that there are a few things that I have to learn. And even if I wanted to do that, it would have taken me ages to do. So I'm going to have to stop this video right there, but I promise to finish what I started. And when the day comes and I'm ready, I'm going to finish this as a storyboard and a story. But that's going to be it for this week. I'm sorry that it ends on such a low note, but I've been really busy, I'm sorry. My name is Javi and I can draw. Thank you so much for watching this, and I'll see you on the next week. Bye!